Yo, man, look, y'all. Today, video, man, we got the dark side of American prep basketball. You know what that means? Prep basketball means uh, it's like you're done with high school, but you're going to a prep school to like try to get better for college. It's something like that, I think.
Basketball players arrived from all across the world to what they thought was their ticket to college stardom. It was a newly founded prep academy promising elite coaching and unlimited national exposure to college scouts. But once they got there, they found themselves living out of a converted garage and without sufficient food or hot water. Dreams were shattered, families' life savings were gone, and some even found themselves arrested and behind bars. Sadly, this wasn't an isolated event. This is the dark side of American prep basketball, where the pursuit of...
See, that's the one thing about prep basketball is you don't know. That's only the one thing about prep basketball is it's like you graduated from college, not college, but you graduated from high school, but you want to play college ball, but you know you're not there yet. You can go to prep school. You feel me? Prep school to get you better, and then like college wise, but people don't want to go to prep school no more. I think I don't know. Do people still go to prep school? I don't really know. I remember I could have went to the prep school, I think in Kentucky, but I said nah. I ain't really try because prep school you don't really know, bro. It's like all about basketball. You know what I'm saying? You're not really doing schoolwork. You're not really doing nothing like that. You know what I'm saying?
Athletic excellence has opened the door to broken promises, corruption, and straight up fraud. Now, prep academies weren't always like this. Schools like Montverde or Oak Hill Academy have been around for 100 years. During that time, they built their reputations first as prestigious academic institutions. Naturally, over decades and with access to funding, they developed elite athletic programs to go with it. And this produced NBA stars like D'Angelo Russell, Carmelo Anthony, and Kevin...
Yeah, but what I mean, I'm not talking about like schools like this. I'm not talking about like Oak Hill and Montverde. I'm talking about like the prep schools that you don't really hear about. Them type of schools used to be like try to get you a fraud, get you a, you know what I'm saying? Like Oak Hill and Montverde, those are two schools that people use it. It used to be Oak Hill, but people are going to Montverde now. Oak Hill used to be dominant. I don't know what happened to Oak Hill Academy, but now it's Montverde now. Everybody usually wants to go to Montverde. Now it used to be Oak Hill, you know what I'm saying?
These schools became the gold standard, offering proper facilities, elite coaching, a well-rounded education, and legitimate access to college recruitment. Of course, all of this at a price, sometimes upwards of $60,000 a year. But around 2000, everything started to change. The rise of the internet and social media meant that high school players could become overnight sensations by one viral clip. And with that trend, basketball was becoming increasingly global, and the competition for these Division I scholarships was skyrocketing. On top of that, due to the NBA's recruiting cycle being mostly in the spring and summer, more and more attention was being placed on these summer basketball tournaments like AAU. College basketball recruiters were finding their guys at these AAU summer tournaments.
And that's why like the high school basketball, like you see them, they don't really look at that. People really look at like if you play AAU, that's where you can get most of your scholarships from if you play AAU. I think AAU is so much better just because like it's just freedom. Like they don't really call that much fouls. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to tuck in your shirt when you play AAU. And regular season basketball, you have to. I don't think some of them do check like if you play like at your school, but mostly they usually be at because usually AAU was worse at. AAU is lit. You feel me? During the summertime, spring, whatever it is.
Traditional high school basketball season less and less relevant and more for just following up with guys you already knew about. This caused players and families to look for other avenues outside of high school to get more exposure to college recruiting. Then in 2006, the popularity of basketball academies really began to take off with the formation of Findlay Prep in Henderson, Nevada. Founded by automotive millionaire Cliff Findlay, it made no qualms about the fact that this school was solely for developing elite basketball.
Is that Christian Wood? Yeah. Is that? I know that ain't Christian Wood right there. I think that is Christian Wood. That looks like that nigga.
We have one team, that's it.
It's nothing like any school you've ever been to.
Cliff recruited the best players from all across the country and bought a house for them all to live under one roof. The education part of the school was secondary and was outsourced to a local private school, Henderson International. And technically the model worked. Findlay Prep won national championship after national championship and produced NBA stars like Avery Bradley, Kelly Oubre, and Tristan Thompson. So the framework for these...
Thompson went to Findlay? I never heard of Findlay Prep. Have y'all ever heard of? I have never heard of Findlay. I have never heard of Findlay Prep. Never heard of Findlay Prep in my life.
Basketball factories.
I never heard of Findlay Prep in my life.
Without skepticism.
The biggest storyline I'd say is that Findlay's not a real school. You know, our guys do what they want.
I thought it was going to be a huge campus.
The high school is just us.
Regardless, Findlay Prep's success sparked a gold rush. Dozens of similar academies started sprouting up all across the country, promising the same formula: exposure, elite coaching, and a fast track to Division I basketball. But unsurprisingly, this new and unregulated market created a hotbed for fraud.
There are a lot of fly-by-night programs that's not accredited that, you know, can open up with a bag of money and say, hey, come here, an AAU program, and now let's go play a national schedule. So I get it.
Well, it's a pretty novel high school basketball concept. Shannon Forest Christian School will play host to something called the 22 Feet Basketball Academy, which their goal is to compete against the likes of Oak Hill Academy and other national powers and develop not only basketball players, but students in an area they found perfect.
In 2013, Mike Rawson founded a school by the name of 22 Feet Academy. It was going to follow the same model as Findlay Prep, housing all the players under one roof and outsourcing the education. And with Mike Rawson being from the UK originally and a former EuroLeague agent, his vision was to not only recruit domestic talent, but international as well. In no time at all, 22 Feet Academy was going to rival the likes of Montverde or IMG Academy with its elite coaching staff and facilities. However, it would only take a few short years for the facade to come crashing down. Rawson's vision quickly faded when bills for equipment and other necessities were going unpaid. The converted garage that upwards of 10 players were living in at a time was becoming vermin infested, and these promised...
There is no way you got them living in a damn garage. That's what some of these prep schools be fake. Like some of these like you literally had to do your research on it to see if people actually went there. Because sometimes people just started up and just scam you for the money. Like that's why like you got to go to Montverde, IMG, OK. Like those are like the schools you usually want to go to if you want to get better and get like the college eyes on you. You know what I'm saying? Going to schools like these that you never heard of usually is not good. Usually it's not good.
Facilities were nowhere to be found. The situation only grew worse when the authorities discovered that Rawson and his wife were running a visa fraud scheme. The consequences were devastating, including the arrest and deportation of Turkish player Mumin Tunk. The indictment stated that Rawson did not require regular school attendance, allowed students to take online courses in violation of their visas, and allowed them to transfer repeatedly without being properly sponsored on an updated Form I-20.
The Rawson duo was charged with defrauding the United States.
Nobody seemed to know all the other things that were going on underneath the surface. It seems to be the students that are the ones that are hurting right now.
Unfortunately, 22 Feet Academy isn't an anomaly. Across America, similar stories have been playing out. Unaccredited diploma mills churn out these fraudulent transcripts that often leave players ineligible to even play college basketball. Over and over again, we see these basketball...
Do you know how really messed up that is? When you got these players thinking like, oh man, prep school, I'm gonna get better, I'm gonna go to college, and they'll look at me, get a scholarship, full ride scholarship, and then to think that you're getting scammed, you're getting fraud, and then you can't even play because of this shit right here. And I almost went to a prep school. I'm not even lying, y'all. The prep school was in Kentucky. I almost went to that prep. I almost went to there, but I never really heard of it. I'm not even like I was really going to my damn prep school. Feel me? Getting sent to just get better at basketball. Hopefully college. Never went because shit like this right here, stuff like this.
factories
What are we
closing
talking about right
without
here, man?
warning, leaving families without refunds and without many options. Even successful programs aren't immune. Even Findlay Prep had to close its doors back in 2019. The tragedy of the
Findlay Prep
situation
closed?
is it's not the 5-star recruits destined for the NBA that are suffering the most. It's the families that are betting everything on their child's dream. Parents draining savings accounts or taking out loans to pay tuition, desperate for that promised exposure to college scouts. Too often they're left with nothing but debt and disappointment, and sometimes for these international students, deportation. As competition for these college scholarships continues to intensify and international players increasingly vie for spots at American universities, the pressure on these young athletes and their families just continues to grow. And while there are still legitimate prep academies that continue to develop their talent the right way, the industry's dark side persists. It's all a cautionary tale of what happens when the dreams of a young athlete collide with corruption.
He's not wrong though, because some of these prep schools be corruption, they're looking for money, and then they don't really care what happens to you. That's
unregulated.
that's so messed up, man.
If you're considering going to a prep academy, do your research, check accreditation, talk with former students, and if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Anyways, man, y'all let me know what y'all think down below, man. So y'all know what you think down below, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, y'all. I'll see you guys until the next one, man. We are out.